All right, we got another one right here. 4 NYPD officers attacked 18-year-old black woman who jumped subway turnstile. NYPD mauled a black woman at a subway station. I'm going to get to the video, but be warned, the following context of the video, which I'm going to show you, contains some might be disturbing. Your discretion is advised.
What's your name? What's your name?
Yo, go get off. Stop.
Stop spitting.
Get off, ridiculous. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not that friend. Get off. Yo, get off.
That's it.
I don't care. Y'all sitting my head in the wall. Get off of me. No, get off. Get off. I'm not doing nothing. I want to stand up.
What did you do?
I want to stand up.
What did you do? What did you do?
I'm trying to go over the train. I'm trying to pay. Yes, bro.
Wow.
4 officers surrounding that 18-year-old woman, handcuffing her. Wow. As she cries for help. Yes, look at this still here. Let that resonate with you. Do you really need 4 officers for jumping a turnstile? And police say that the 18-year-old, one of them, was bitten by her. That's what they claim. And she punched another in the face when she was caught hopping the turnstile. They're also claiming that the 18-year-old is known to the department, and so they took her into custody. Among those outraged in response to the local council member Chi Ossie, who compared the woman's arrest to the subway death of an Asian woman shoved in front of the train in Times Square earlier this year. He wrote in a tweet, 4 cops were on the platform when Michelle Go was tragically pushed into the subway tracks, and the police did nothing. A black woman hops a turnstile and is confronted with 4 cops with handcuffs, tasers, and firearms.
Yeah, they surround her, put her on the ground for $2.75 subway fare.
Bed-Stuy arrest comes amid the NYPD's controversial revival of broken windows policing, or a crackdown of quality-of-life offenses police say will reduce a citywide spike in violent crimes and thefts. The tactic, which is in the past has included a focus on fare evasion, have been condemned by advocates who argue they're ineffective against reducing violent crime and disproportionately affect Black, brown, and low-income people. The NYPD also says that several weeks into the crackdown of strap hangers, that violating transit rules under Mayor Eric Adams' subway safety plan, which in its first week saw 455 people, many homeless New Yorkers, ejected from the transit system. And just last Monday, if you recall, Mayor Eric Adams stated that New York City's DA should go back to prosecuting people who commit subway fare evasion. He believes prosecutors declining to press charges sent the wrong message. They need to. It's a crime. It's a crime, Adams said during a press conference in the Bronx with NYPD leadership in response to a question about controversial soft on crime DAs in Brooklyn and Manhattan's Alvin Bragg, who have opted not to prosecute fare beaters. Adams said prosecutors' soft touch on turnstile jumpers has fed into increased subway crime rates in recent years. Dina, what are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, it's a horrible video. I mean, there doesn't seem to be any reason to have these 4, large men on her. And I don't understand why, trying to do kind of the right goal. I mean, Mayor Adams, the reason why there were probably so many officers on duty is he just recently kind of upped the amount of officers that were going to be on subways because of the really legitimate issue of people getting pushed and killed in the subway. I mean, there was an issue here, but it's really sad that this is, kind of the result of it. This is not what we want there to be so much focus on. So, I mean, New York City has kind of a major issue because the amount of people riding the subway has gone way down. A lot of revenue comes from the subway, and this was the mayor's, wanting to kind of make people feel safe was to have more transit workers. But that kind of video isn't going to make people feel safe, especially people of color. And I don't understand why the police kind of continue to always do this, in their pursuit of maybe a worthy goal, doing it in such a wrong way like this.
Yeah, I know, and definitely when it comes to video, it's very problematic, because we saw Eric Adams kind of implicitly threaten people in terms of filming police and saying, there's a proper way to film police and to document it. Stop being on top of my police officers while they're carrying out their jobs. And that should be really, really disheartening to a lot of people, and also very scary, because these things need to be documented so people can decide what leaders they want to put in positions of authority who are going to make decisions like this of whether to older police people. And this whole broken windows policing theory, which I was well educated on at my time at John Jay in New York City, it's not necessarily fit for the current times. The fact is we have a lot of social ills that are creating circumstances and situations for why you end up having so many homeless on the street. And without providing opportunities, alternatives, without raising the infrastructure so that people have a place to go and can be safe and also can have access to basic transportation, it's just punishing people for being poor. And that's not right. And also, too, the way that this young lady was treated is completely and totally unacceptable, especially for just jumping a turnstile. That's just excessive. Fair. It's wrong. And I don't think that this is how we should be using our resources. And I think it's a significant problem. Do you have any final words, Dina?
No, I mean, I agree. If she did punch and bite them, then, I can see why she was arrested. But again, there's no need for there had to have been so many people. She was she was a tiny woman, and I would think one officer could have handled that.
Yeah, and if anything, why the need to hold her to the ground and treat her the way that they treated her? It just seems excessive. If they could actually have officers helping out
that woman
crime prevention, that would be great, even though we know the studies and stats show that they don't do much in terms of crime prevention. And so you can't say that their presence changes anything, as people are still fair jumping with or without NYPD being present. But we're going to have to see how this is handled. But there are a lot of things coming out of the mayor's office right now that are very, very disconcerting, particularly when it comes to use of police force and condoning that kind of hard.
Let me talk about fair. Let me talk about fair. What people sometimes avoid the fair, or like fair jumping or fair evading. It's not the some people reason why they do it. Because it's not the fact they're too cheap or they want to get free ride. It's the fact that some people can't afford the fare. And that's why some people do it, because as well, they can't afford the full fare, but they need to go somewhere, and walking, and a logical person can only walk, a mile, 15 minutes? I mean, somebody needs to get like 7 to 8 miles. They're not going to spend 2 hours walking 8 miles. And sometimes you think I could just ride the bus, I'm there in 15 minutes, or take the subway, I'm there in 10 minutes, like that. But I can't afford a $2.50 fare, or $2.55, or $3 fare. And there are bus drivers, Translinks and stuff like that. They're understandable with people like that. I knew some bus drivers. There was one bus driver I knew, actually two of them, Sean and Richard. They understand. People be short, a couple times, I was Sean, and I have just $1, Pierce Chance would be like $2. He would just he said, dude, just come on in, you're good. Here's the transfer. It's good for 2 hours. He knew. That's after I lost my job back in construction like that, I was struggling. So I need to get someplace to look for a job, or get to go to a friend's house and whatnot. He just here. It's come on in, Tom. Here's a transfer. That's what it is. Sometimes it's these days when prices are so high, gas prices through the roof, $5 a gallon. Price of meat, groceries going to the skyrocket, rent's getting jacked up. People are just struggling to pay the bills. They don't have any money in their pocket to ride. So, anyways, I'm out here. My job. Peace out.